not necessary, but I appreciate it anyway. I first just want to start by saying thank you to the Senate President. Sorry, my notes are out of order, of course. Give me 1 second. Did not number the pages here. Well, I'll just go on without them. So first, let me just say thank you to the Senate President. It's so incredibly important for me to have you here, and it's so incredibly important for me to have your support. Just so everyone knows, he's got the responsibility of 59, 58 state senators, their perspectives, their needs, their passions for the entire state of Illinois. And there's never been a time where I've gone to him and he's not listened to me, heard me out. When I made many requests on behalf of people in this room, our constituents, and the people in the 8th State Senate District. And I just always appreciated that, your guidance, your advice, your willing to listen, your willingness to help me achieve what I need to achieve for our district. I wish I could tell you that I'll have less asks this year, but you and I both know that's not going to be true. I also want to thank, we had a video with Senator Duckworth. Senator Durbin couldn't be here, Congressman Quigley couldn't make it. But I just want to thank them and Congresswoman Schakowsky for their support, for their leadership in Congress. They have been stalwart, in terms of making sure we're defending our democracy, making sure we have ARPA dollars for the state, for rescuing our, in terms of the COVID-19 pandemic, making sure we have $17 billion in funding, in infrastructure and transportation funding. I can't thank them enough. And if you're wondering why in my first election I actually had yard signs that says Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky endorses Ron Villivalam, there's a reason. She is beloved in this district. And there was a lot of letters to put on a sign, but it was worth it. And so I just want to thank you again. I want to thank my friend Alexi, our candidate that I'm supporting to be the next Secretary of State. And I would have also thanked Atur and Ken and Veronica and Savo if we had the video for your support as well. So thank you. These first 2 notes are going to be thank yous. Thank you to my staff. Joey Slater on the political side, he's been working his tail out. And then also my official staff, who especially even before the pandemic, but also during the pandemic, worked countless hours to make sure we're coordinating thousands of tests, vaccine clinics, PPE shipments, and so much more as we try to persevere. So I want to thank them. And then I want to thank my family. My brother and Arun and my sister-in-law Poonam are not here today. They're in California with their kids, Ruchika and Sonmar. We're videotaping this, so Ruchika, I'll say that I know that you made a $63 pledge for my first campaign, but I will forgive you, and you don't have to make that contribution anymore. My sister Vina, my brother-in-law Anthony, and their kids Enzo and Akil, my wife's family, Jesse, Deborah, Avril, Junior, and Bella. All right, I said everybody. I just can't thank them enough. This is a huge sacrifice, and it cannot be done without family. So I just want to thank them. There's also 2 women in my family that I got to especially thank. My mom, she's not here today because she's babysitting our 2 kids. Just want to thank her. I can't thank her enough. Everything that she did. Coming to this country, going back to school with 2 kids, 28 years in public service, giving me every opportunity that I could ask for. And no, I'm sorry I never went to medical school or law school like she wanted. But I just want her to know that it's because of her that I stand here today. And then my wife's here. I know she is. There she is. I just want to say thank you as well. It's been quite a journey. The last 3 years, in the last 3 years, when we decided to run for office, we got married, we bought a house, we had 2 kids, we both started new jobs, and there's no one else that I would rather do it with. And It's because of you that I'm here today. All right, we made it. Okay. And just why I'm here today. Why are we here? We're here because we have a lot of work to do. I stand before you today because I'm asking for your vote. I'm asking for your support. I'm asking for you to help us get the word out about what we've accomplished. I'm so proud of the work that we've done. When we ran 3 years ago, we were focused on income inequality, reducing gun violence, protecting and expanding women's rights, LGBTQ rights, immigrant rights, supporting our small businesses. And by all accounts, if you're not listening to certain media, by all accounts, we have got the job done. We raised the minimum wage to $15 an hour. We protected women's rights, even if Roe v. Wade is undermined or overturned. We passed universal background checks at the state level to reduce gun violence, making sure we get $9 million that are most impacted by gun violence. We passed a historic clean energy jobs bill, one of the first, but historic in the nation. But that's not all. We also passed a balanced budget, and for the first time in 20 years, got a round of credit rating upgrades. We passed a $45 billion bipartisan transportation infrastructure package at the state level to take our D- rating in our roads, bridges, and mass transit up to an A+. Right? We also made sure that we passed historic ethics reform. We have to maintain and gain the public trust for the work that we're doing. And so when I look at our record as Democrats, and yes, sometimes the Republicans joined us, but for the most part, as Democrats in this state, we've turned around our fiscal ship. We're in it for the working people in terms of increasing the minimum wage. And we have a huge referendum on the ballot come November, the Workers' Rights Amendment. We can't just thank an essential worker. We got to make sure we're supporting the policies that impact their daily lives. And that's what we've been doing in Springfield. And so, since I'm going out of order a little bit here, because my notes were all entangled, I'll just end by saying this. We have a great story to tell in this state. We just got to go out and tell it. And there are times where people might say, you know what, infrastructure isn't my top issue. Well, it's going to be your top issue if you start to realize that you can't get to your hospital, your education, your school, or your child care center, or to work, right? So we got to make sure people understand the work that we did and make sure that they know who did it. And let me just say this, we're not done. We got to make sure that we pass, in my opinion, paid family and medical leave. We got to make sure that we expand funding for our emergency services. We got to make sure that we continue to right the fiscal ship. We got to make sure that $17 billion from the Fed that we got infrastructure spending is executed and implemented right. There's a lot more work to do, and that only happens with the help from the people in this room. And so I know it's cold. I gotta mention my friend Louis Rivas, letter carriers, first endorsement I got in 2018 when I ran. I often say, I said to him, in January, after petitions were done and everything, the first time I ran, it was me and the letter carrier out there when it was 10 degrees and dark. And I can't thank them enough for their support. But I know, we know what it's gonna take. It's gonna be cold, we have to be careful with COVID, but we have to get the job done. And if each person does their part, we can make it happen. And so with that, I just have 3 requests. 1, if you have not yet signed the petitions at the back, please sign the petition signature, not just for me, for all the candidates that are running in this election. It is a sacrifice. It is a sacrifice. Alexi and I were talking, his kids are 6 and 4, mine are 3 and 4 months. It is not easy. We hear it when we go home, trust us. But we can get it done, and they're making a sacrifice, and I like to mention that it's not just me. 2, if you're willing to talk about why you're supporting Democrats, why you support me, we're gonna set up a video, a 30-second video testimonial in the corner here. So please feel free to make those videos. And then lastly, each seat has this sheet. This sheet. We have about 8 or 9 days of action coming up. So some of you, you're taking petitions today. Some of you want to come to days of action. Please take this sheet, fill out 3 or 4 days that you can come out. All right, on both sides, please include your name, your address, your phone number, your email. Fill out 3 or 4 times that you can come out. And then if you could, and I'm not great at this, but carefully rip it in half. You keep one copy and give the other copy to Joey, who's going to be standing by the door. Again, this is how we're going to make it happen. And I just want to say thank you again for coming out in support of my re-election, in support of other Democrats that are running. This is the time. We got to go out and get the message out, and I know that we can be victorious come November. So thanks again, and take care, everyone.